Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining me today. It is your girl, Deborah Vines-Epps. As you know, on Thursdays, it is Talk Your Talk, where I share so many different things. I allow people to be free. We have information sometimes it's valuable for people, but more than anything, we talk about real life things that people sometimes are uncomfortable. Sometimes people are uncomfortable about talking about things, or sometimes people don't have time to release it. So today I have with me William Shug Battle. He go by Shug, and for tonight I will call him Shug. He will talk about what our topic is about tonight: breaking free, overcoming addiction. And it's a huge thing for people to even be in that space of peace, to be able to talk about their past addictions, how they continue to struggle with being around people who still struggle with their addiction, but they overcome by being mentally strong. And that comes with faith and everything. And so before I have Mr. Shug introduce himself and we go into the topic of tonight, I want to say this to you all. I want you all to check on someone today. Yesterday, I checked on a sister of mine and I asked her, was she okay? And I asked her because I seen something on social media that was alarming to me. And just a simple, are you okay? She came back and said, no, I'm not. She said, I'm tired of being strong. She said, I am drained emotionally. She said something happened to me that, was a traumatic experience for me. And because of that, sometimes I just don't feel like doing anything. So I'm telling you all, check on someone today. When you're feeling like this, stay in it, sit in it, give yourself grace, right? Remember where this feeling came from. All right. Check on someone today. So, with that being said, I am excited to talk with Suge today. People have a tendency to judge people. There are many types of addiction. I'm going to name a few. You have alcoholism, you have gambling, sexual addictions, internet addiction, video game addiction, behavioral addictions, dependency, and pornography. With these addictions, how are you to judge? Is one addiction less or greater than the other? All right. I want y'all to think about this, but I want y'all to really listen to Mr. Shug, who also has a play, and we're going to talk about this as well. So, Mr. Shug, I want you to introduce yourself to everyone. Then I want you to let everyone know what was your choice of your addiction and how it was a struggle for you.
Good afternoon to all of y'all that are listening. My name is William Battle. They call me Suge Battle. Well known. Uh, right now, I'm 28 years clean from alcohol. I'm 23 years clean from crack cocaine. And to talk about my drug of choice, I was diagnosed being dual with alcohol and drugs. So to say one is better than the other one is worse than the other one, there's no comparison. Addiction is addiction, and in my process of going through my journey of recovery, we had to work the 12-step program,
Yep.
and the 12 steps. Each step affects your life. Step one, you have to admit that your life has become unmanageable, and that's a hard thing to do for any individual to
Yes.
admit to yourself, I'm no longer in control of my life.
Mm.
So step one was a process for me because it took me about a year to find me. Once I had admitted, I went on to step two. I had to start believing again. I had
Mm.
I had to believe there was a power greater than me,
All right.
it just begins to grow on you. I got on, went on through step 3. I got to step 4. Now this was really, really hard. Step 4 was taking a personal inventory of yourself.
Mm.
The good, the ugly, the bad. You have to go with it all. You can't leave nothing out. It took me 18 months to work that one step because
Wow.
I had a plate full. I had a plate full,
Can I
you know.
stop right there for a minute?
Sure.
So I know step one in the 12-step recovery program is admitting.
Yep.
Admitting is, like you said, people are in denial for so long. I'm okay. I still can work. I can still function, but they still have that addiction, right? So when they think that they can function, they think it's not an addiction, right? But it's
Right.
a habit. But when you talked about that step 4 of a personal inventory, does that open up a lot of things that you weren't ready to feel again?
Of course. That's why it took me 18 months because I had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of people I had hurt.
Mm,
I had a lot of family that I had let down. And one of my biggest supporters is my daughter. I
mm,
was I was tired of my daughter crying to me. Crying, crying. And one night she picked up her mother, and at that time I had one granddaughter by her, Jayla. They came in the hood and found me, and they was just crying, and my baby mother, Deborah, she said something to me, and it was like somebody had a knife and they was just
mm.
stabbing me. But what she did after the hurt, it made me so much stronger, you know. It made me so much stronger because when she said that later in my life, I accepted that because it was God telling her to tell me this because it wasn't anybody I was listening to. It wasn't anybody in the street, my family. Ain't nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I was in the grips of my addiction, and there was nobody that could stop that but me. But that conversation that night set me straight. It
But
set me.
even in that conversation, when your child's mother said that to you, it wasn't, even though you felt it still didn't make you stop your addiction, did it?
It didn't stop. No, no. That's why when you're in the 12, when you're in recovery programs, you learn that the drug is cunning and is very baffling.
Mm,
And that means later, once I got clean, that all your positive, good thoughts, you have really just thrown them out, throw them down the drain. Every decision you make, you believe because of your addiction that it's a rational decision.
yeah.
And that's why they say you get caught up in the grips of addiction. And it's hard.
And sure, it's, let me tell you, I've seen people who try so hard to stop what they're doing. And family, we're quick to say, just stop doing it. We think it's just that easy. And we say, just stop doing it. Just,
See,
just don't do it anymore. What's so hard about it, Suge, for the families out here who have people that are addicted? whether it's drugs, gambling, pornography, sex, whatever, shopping, whatever addiction, how is it so hard for that person who's addicted to just stop? Because we don't understand when you all continue to do it, when you know you got people who love you, when you have people around you who are there to support you, and you hurt us the most by stealing from us, by taking from us. You know what? Why is it so hard for you to stop your addiction? Why?
Let me piggyback on that with you right now about that. In recovery, there are three things that must happen in order for you to be recovered and learn how to stay recovered. You must, you must change the people,
Woo!
places, and the things you do. That's a must that you got to do. And a lot of us go to rehab and come back home. You want to show off. Oh, I'm looking good. I'm clean. I've been to rehab. And you begin to associate with the same people.
Yep.
You're back in the same place. And they're all doing the same thing around you. And the dopamine in your brain tells you, oh, you could smoke one. You're
Mm.
all right. You're going to be all right. I came home and fell in that trap. It took me 8 months to leave Rocky Mount. It took me 8 months to get back out of that trap.
Mm.
8 months. And thank God, I haven't looked back. And like I said, this August made me 23 years drug free. I thank God every day. Every day of my life, it's a blessing because I still see people that I was getting high with 20 years ago. They're still in the same place, and
Wow.
they
Wow.
they don't want to change places. You have to change places, things, and people. You have to. It's a must. There's no way around it. Ain't nobody in the world. There's no clinical technician can tell me. I have lived it and I have seen it with my own eyes. It's a must. It's a must.
What about the times, Suge, when you're having a not so good mental day, right?
Oh yeah.
And you might not be around those people or those things or those places, but your mind is not in a good space. And you know the one thing that you can go to help you get out of that space. What are those the times when you find yourself relapsing the most, when it's more mentally challenging?
Yes, yes. To piggyback on that, you will if you don't when them cravings hit you like that, you must pick up that telephone and call somebody.
Okay.
You
Okay.
have you have to talk to somebody
Okay. Okay.
because if you don't, going back to the conning and the baffling of the drugs and alcohol, you will fall right back into that trap because you're telling yourself, I can do better this time with it.
Yeah.
I, I won't let it have me run around the street stinking and
Yep.
looking and everybody's scared of you and people see you coming and
Yep.
but they go sure they turn around and go the other way because they know in their mind something is wrong with that individual.
Yep.
It's
And you know,
something.
often, Suge, people substitute drugs with other things. And in their minds, they say, oh, I'm not using that. I'm doing this now. but it's a
Oh,
substitution. So again, they're trying to, again, that word cunning, right?
right,
Manipulation, trying to
right.
say, I'm not addicted anymore. I have substituted. Have it been times that you have done that and thought that you was doing good, but knew that you was just going through a phase?
Oh yeah. I even con myself to listen when people say, "Oh, Suge turned out to be a crackhead." I used to argue, get 100% fired up, ready to fight. I'm not a crackhead. I smoke crack. I'm not a crackhead. I smoke crack. You begin to try to fool yourself and
Yeah,
make false statements to your brain, and you caught up in there, and you got to get away from them places.
yeah.
So so
And then another thing is relationships. You say you hurt a lot of people during your addiction. And I know you're a veteran and you went to seek help at the VA hospital.
oh
And
yeah,
a lot of people, I'm a veteran myself. And I
mhm,
also know that, being in the military sometimes that contributes to some people addiction. That's not the sole reason, but sometimes that can be it as well. But during that time, did you feel like you disregarded a lot of people feelings, your kids, your grandbabies, your siblings, your mom and your dad? Did you steal from families? Like when you're in that addiction, you don't care about no one's feelings, right?
right, correct.
Yeah,
But to
yeah.
pick up on that, I count it as a blessing. I never stole from my family. I,
Wow, that's good.
and I know stories. I'm gonna tell you in a minute, but let me finish saying this. I know people, everything you just said, and that's the way it happened. I was blessed to be a talker. Always been a good talker. They used to tell me, "Yeah, sure, he got the gift for gab," and it worked in my addiction because I was always confronting people. Can I go cut your grass? Can I come rake your yard? Or can I wash your car? I wasn't the addict that was going to Walmart stealing two TVs at one time. I wasn't that addict to get up to go to the grocery store stealing. Stealing was not my forte. It was something I just knew as a kid. My mother told us not to steal. And
Okay.
that's one blessing that I kept with me. I'm not saying I never took something, but as far as just getting up every day to steal to support my habit, that wasn't me. And
Okay.
you know, uh, you hurt so many people. You hurt so many people, and instead of trying to apologize to everybody one on one. My thing was I was gonna have a gathering, just a cookout, or start going to family cookouts again. Let them see you clean and sober,
Right.
and they see the change,
They
so they
do.
they know the change. So as time grows and grows, the love that was evaporated because of my addiction grows back double.
Got it. And see, you said something about you didn't apologize to everyone individually. You had a gathering. And you're
Right,
right. Family members, we get to the point where sometimes we just throw our hands up and we say, you know what? I'm here for you when you're ready.
right.
Because you will say, I'm clean. Family, we exhaust ourselves too.
We
And
do.
when most people come out of recovery, they're very euphoric, they're happy, they're excited. I got this. I feel good. I look good. But in the back of the family minds, they're like, yeah, all right, here's a cycle. They're okay now. Just give them a few more days. They're gonna be out in the streets again, right? So we
Right.
lose hope as family members. And I know when we do that, it becomes frustrating to the addict because they're like, you're losing hope in me. So guess what? I might as well go ahead and do it. You're already saying I'm going to do it anyway. And so it becomes a cycle with the addict, with the family member, with the addict, the family member, to the point where it's like the boy that cried wolf. We
That's
don't we don't believe it until we start seeing the patterns, because we know what it looks like, Suge, whenever you're clean.
right.
We know what it looks like when you're not clean.
And that goes back to the same thing I said in the beginning, cunning and baffling. Now you're cunning yourself. You're cunning yourself to believe that I can go back out here and smoke and ain't nobody gonna notice.
Yep.
Everybody that drinks or whatever you or smoke, whatever your addiction is, if you continue to do that addiction, you can look in the mirror all day and see no wrong. But trust me, everybody else around you see all of the wrong.
Yes.
You
Yep.
know, they
Yep.
know, we know.
Someone
But
has a question. As a supportive friend, how can you help someone who is struggling with addiction without jeopardizing our livelihood or well-being?
the first thing we as addict, I'm a recovering addict, William Battle. The first thing, you can't come at us with the hostile attitude. You
Mm.
you need to do that. Nigga, you need to do this. Nigga, a person, you need to do this. You have to come at us with sensitivity.
Okay.
Because if you come at us with the loudness, the hard, because you feel this is the way I can reach that person,
Mm.
what it does, it runs us away. It runs us away. And then when we get away, we get to ourselves. We try to rationalize that person's opinion and my opinion. And the next thing you know, the con game is still on, where I'm going to get me one and just smoke the night and I'm going home. And you mess around, be out there for 30 nights.
Woo! I've
You know,
seen, hey, Suge, I've seen that.
yeah, it happens. It happens.
I've seen that. Gosh, I tell you, like, addiction is so strong. And you know, that's why I put, is one less or greater than mine? Because there's different types of addictions. Different types of addictions, and people are quick to judge when it's a physical thing. So people are quick to judge people who use um um prescription drugs, people who use illegal substances, people who drink alcohol. See, it causes a physical problem, right?
right. You're right.
So they're quick to label them a certain type way, but then they don't look at it as, if you gambling, that's worse. That's still bad, right?
Right. Right.
Cigarettes is one of the worst.
The worst. It is.
That it's most difficult to get off nicotine.
It is. It's very hard to get off
It
nicotine.
is. But
But let me
people don't look at nicotine
as an
like they
addiction.
look at somebody who drink a
Oh,
lot and people who smoke. See how people quick to look at others, but an addiction starts here.
that's
It's
right.
here. And Suge, I try to tell people, you have to understand the underlying reason for the addiction. People just don't start doing it because they want to.
Right.
It's to escape some type of reality.
Exactly. Some type of problem that a lot of, especially now, the young kids now, I talk to a
Woo!
lot of, see them, they are so far away. And I think it's the same thing. They say when I was growing up, they say you miss love, you go to the streets and find love. You know, we had so much love till we could just let it fly away in a balloon and it'll come back double. But today, I see a lot of kids, I know a lot of kids. It's not love. I've found out they don't know how to relate and talk to an adult. because
Woo!
all the adults in their lives are shooting them down, talking trash, belittling them, making them feel worthless. And they just come to a point where I'm gonna just be this worthless, no good person.
Yep.
And you begin, that's when it becomes baffling because you don't know which way I want to turn. I know I should live better than this, but you don't care because you like the effects of the drugs. And next thing you know, a year, 2, 3, 4 years gone by, and you've been drugged up for 5 years in a row. So now it's gonna take 5 years for your brain to retract and
Oh
get
my
you
gosh.
the positive side of the world. I thank God I've cried and prayed so many nights right in Hampton, Virginia. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the VA. Thank you, Miss Miller. That was a drug addiction counselor. The first day she met me, ain't never seen me in my life. I was
Short,
in her
light
house.
skin, Miss Miller.
That's my baby.
She just retired 2 years ago from the
That
Hampton VA Medical Center.
you don't have to tell me, David. That's my sister. I know.
Oh wow.
This is gonna be so amazing when we do this. But listen, she knew me for 5 minutes, and she told me, Mr. Battle, get your manipulative AZZ out of my office. And when you feel like you're ready to learn about recovery, you come back and see me.
Wow.
I went back that evening, and to this day, right now, her birthday is July 21st. Mine's July 28th. For the last 20 some years, we called each other and wish.
Wow. Look at that.
And just the fact that God touched me and you on this thing, Debbie, you know that's my best buddy.
Yep. Look at that.
Best buddy, Miss Miller, Miss Look, I ain't gonna call her first name, but anyway, CE, Miss CE Miller.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
so
That's my
sweet too. Love to smile, love to laugh. She just retired.
I know. And look, she had a chance when I graduated out of the program. She had a chance to meet my daughter, my son, my mother, and my brother. And for some reason, everybody at the Hampton VA knew Mr. Battle all
Wow.
all the way up to the director.
The director.
Director
Wow.
had to meet and see who was Mr. Battle. Because Miss Miller gave me so much, and they call it giving you tools. She
Yep.
gave me
There you yep. Tools. Yep.
so many tools, and when I began to work my tools, I had a job at the VA, and I was an addict coming in recovery, and they ended up giving me a job at the Hampton VA.
See? See? Because they know it. They know when you come in what you're looking for. If you're trying to get benefits, if you're trying to really get help, they already know it.
I
They
already know.
see it all the time.
They
They
know.
see it.
They know.
Quita said, keep it up, Sugar. I'm proud of you.
Tell her, hey, 6 9 tell her, thank you, baby. I love you. Tell her I said I love her.
She hear
Yeah.
you. She up here. Yeah,
Oh, hey, man. Hey, 6 9 Hey, baby.
yeah,
That's
it's
my
the
baby.
VA. People talk, you know what I mean? And people have their own views about the Hampton VA Medical Center or any VA center, period. But I'll say at the end of the day, it's what you make it. People go into these programs expecting
Right.
somebody
Right.
to do
They
something for them. You have to do something for yourself.
self for yourself.
You have to.
That's the time. I was brought up, good Christian family, Christian neighborhood. Everybody around me had somebody Christian in their house. So I knew right from wrong. But to sit down and build your relationship back with God,
Mm,
you have to sit down and block everybody out. Everybody, sister, brother, mom, sister, whoever is in your life, you have to block them off for a minute, and you need some time with God, and you have to ask God to deliver you from this weakness because it will begin to happen over and over
Mm.
because you thinking you done outthought God because God ain't came back and gave you no confirmation or answer. Now you
Ooh.
smarter than God. I'm going out here and do it my way again. That's how baffling the
Mm.
drug. That's how baffling that drug is.
And with that being said, I'm glad you brought that up. How many times did you relapse before you came 28 years clean?
You faded. I can hear you say that again.
How many times did you relapse before you became 28 years clean?
Oh, I haven't. I haven't had a drink. I
No,
haven't
no, no, no,
had
no.
no
Before
alcohol.
before you before you became clean 28 years, back then, how many times did you relapse before you get it right? Before you got it right?
You faded again.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Hey, dog. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. It came back on, dog.
How many
Yeah.
times did you relapse before you got it right?
Oh, at least maybe 30, maybe 30
Woo!
times.
30
At
times.
least 30. Yeah, I was at the VA in Hampton, and they specified to me that the first group of people that I began to associate with and hang out with, being the new kid on the block, you trying to learn your way around. But I was instructed and told by a lot of counselors, especially my friend Miss Miller, that these guys you were with is the guys that's they're like recycle. They come
Yep.
to the VA. They come to the VA in the wintertime when it's cold.
Yep.
In summertime when it's hot, they come and lay up for free because they're like revolving doors. They
That's
in and
it.
out,
That's it.
in and out, in and out of the programs, making it bad for all the regular veterans that's trying to get some help, taking up a bed space. So I began, and like I tell you, I go back to the beginning, the cunning and baffling. I,
Yep.
be, I began to get acclimated, listening to the people that I think they're here with a positive mind, trying to get clean, doing the same thing, but they got other alternatives,
Yep.
and you get caught up in it. I was caught up in it, and it became a vicious cycle for me. So God know that I done had talks with him. He don't like ugliness. So
Mm.
God don't like wrongness. When you talk to God, you got to do yourself right. One day, I'm out there in the streets, relapse. Did not know, had no idea that my family was coming up to the VA, surprised me for a visit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm out in the streets of Hampton, Virginia, and I see this truck, same color truck my sister had, because I heard my name, and I was like, no, this got to be crazy. Ain't nobody up here called a Suge. And I looked at that truck again. It was my father, my sister, my brothers, sisters.
Oh.
And they caught me in the middle of the hood with a handful of crack. And they was blowing a horn, calling me. And I was trying to run the opposite
Oh
way
my gosh.
so I can hide my crack and come back and get it. That's cunning and so baffling because my mind should have been like, okay, your family here, something that happened, or something is wrong, or something is right. Either way, you need to be running towards this truck instead of running the opposite way. That's the cunning and baffling of that drug.
Yeah. Yeah.
That day and up to right now, I don't have that on my back no more because I went back to God. I
Mm,
went I went to God many nights and days, and I asked God to take this thing away from me. And he felt me and he answered my prayers.
mm,
He answered my prayers. I love the book of Songs. The book of Songs was so my life. When I read Psalm 51, when I asked God for deliverance, and he let me know that I ain't sinned before none of these people of the world. You have not
mm,
seen them. You have sinned before me. You need to talk
mm.
to me. You need to talk to me. And I tell you, to this day right here, my life, God has given me everything I prayed for 23 years ago: a roof over my head, common sense, respect, love, honesty. These are the things you must tell yourself daily because your goal every morning and every day for the rest of your life is to be true to thy own self.
Woo.
I can't be true to you when I'm lying to me.
Mm,
So you caught up in the grips again. You
mm.
caught up. You caught up and you're trying to get a way out. And you don't know your way out, so you go back to conning yourself again. But
So that's what it is. That's
that's
what it is. It is. So it's the cunning part. It's the part where you psyching yourself out, right?
right.
And
Oh,
everything that everybody's saying is you play the victim, like you make yourself feel like they just against me. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm just go out here and feel good for a minute. I got control of this, and then when you get that one hit, it got you all over again.
we call it you're off to the races. You're off.
Woo! And sure, answer this for me. Look, I've never tried drugs. When I was in college and undergrad, I tried to smoke a little weed, and I almost thought I caught the lung up, so I never tried again. Um, but answer this for me: what does it make people feel like to make them get so? I know what it does to science tells what it
Yeah.
does to your body, but I'm talking about what does it does to just make you just have no carefree in the world.
When you're free, when you got peace, when you got peace in your heart, in your mind, your body and soul, and you know that it's blessed every day by the master, you begin to feel not inferior. You begin to feel the next person problem or the next person problem. You do all you can do to help that person. But then you have to look at it. I keep getting them $20 every day. Now I have become
Enabler.
enabler.
Yep.
He coming to me every day because he know I'm gonna give him $10 because he say he hungry, and I know this is the cunning of the game. So I had to check myself. I need to do better. I make him a sandwich every day he come by. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You
Yep.
you substitute one one thing for another. But see, getting back to the drug, when you drink, you think you run the world, you rule the world,
Oh.
you rule the world. Everything I say is right. You're right. I'm always right. When you're high on drugs, you think you Einstein. You really think you Einstein. Don't nobody else's opinion make no difference. It,
Got you. Okay.
yeah, it's about how you feel, and it's just the way it is, And don't change. Drugs do not discriminate. They don't discriminate. They take your brain just like they take the next person's brain,
Woo.
and it don't make no difference. And I heard you earlier to piggyback about the pills. A lot of people are hooked on medicine, and they
Yes.
try.
Those
This is the
opiates is serious. That it is
they
it was an
real
opiate crisis going on.
crisis right now. I read about it, look at it on the news every day, and see the thing about that is they want to justify. Oh, I ain't out there smoking no crack. I ain't out there drinking. I just take this medicine because
Yep.
you know I broke my leg like 5 years ago, and every now and then I get some pain. So that's the excuse that I listen to a lot because when I was in Virginia, I went to a program in Newport News, and that program had people from all walks of life. It wasn't just veterans, and I had the chance to meet a young lady that was the CEO of a pharmaceutical company.
Wow.
She was in there because she was hooked on her own pills, and she
Oh my.
shared this. She shared this with me, and I was like, I know I really bleed now, and I know that it don't discriminate. Here it is. She's a millionaire, probably a billionaire, because her family business, and she's hooked on her own medicine. It's hard.
Yeah,
Addiction.
a lot of people are. A lot of people, you know, a lot of doctors try to stay away from prescribing people, with the opiates.
Exactly.
Especially they know your background.
Exactly.
Um, but at the same time, you'll have people like you that have been clean for 23 years, with alcohol and um 28 years with alcohol, 23 years with drugs. You've been clean, but if you have to take opiates, prescription drugs to feel pain free, you're going to be strong enough to say, no, I don't want that.
Exactly.
But
As
the ones that aren't as strong, they're going to take it.
it'll be
Then they're going to start using it earlier than the prescription is called for. Then they're going to start selling it.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's what's going on right now.
Exactly. All around the world. All around the world. But I like what you said because I had got bitten by a spider and I had the tip of my finger cut off at the VA in Hampton. And they tried to give me Percocet for pain pills. I took one that next day, and my witness is Miss Irene. I brought her in there and I showed her what I did with the rest of them Percocets. I flushed them down the stool. I told her,
Wow.
"No way in the world you gonna get me to taking these because this finger gonna stop here. It's gonna,
Right.
it's gonna throw up, but I know it's gonna stop. But ain't no need for me to sit here and take all these damn Percocets.
And people like when the veterans get pills because we
Oh,
get pills.
yeah, we get pills. They send us pills like they done lost their mind.
And
They do.
they're very careful now with the prescription drugs, the opiates.
I know. I know.
But at the same time, if and they watch our charts too. They watch a veteran chart, so they know if you're one that coming back to ask for prescription drugs. But then you have the ones that take advantage of it and they sell their pills.
They do. They know. That's the conning of the game again. You don't con yourself so much till you think the doctor don't know. He just gave you a 30-day supply on the third of the
Yep.
so on the third of the month. So okay, you get them on the third. So now you got 27, 28 more days in the month. On the 15th of the month, ain't been but 13 days. You back up in there trying to get 30 more pills.
Right. And then you get upset with the doctor, like,
Right,
look,
mad,
look,
mad.
I was in a whole lot of pain, so I had to come on now. You can't even double up. You probably overdose, you take more than you're supposed to. right?
You right. You
Your
right. But
your nephew Derek said only the strong survive, and my uncle did. He put up a lot of strong emojis saying, "I'm proud of you, William Battle." That was
my
Shorty Mac.
yeah, my nigga.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, you come from a family. You all, I've been knowing. I was calling him Uncle Suge for a long time because well, we're like family because my cousin, this is his daddy's side of the family. And so, we're just like family and we've always been like that. And I remember Suge, back in the day, I used to look at you and be like, come on, come on, Suge. But you were always nice. You were never mean to us. You would never. I've never seen. I see a lot of addicts who get irritable, frustrated, mad. I've never seen you like that. Never seen you like that. But I could tell when you started to get better.
Oh
I
yeah.
could tell. I could tell when you was inebriated, which is, drunk. I could tell then, slurred speech and, stumbling. And I'm like, oh man, I remember those days. But to see how you are now, it proves that it starts with you. It has to, because sure, I see it all the time. People be quick to blame others for their own actions, and they play the victim.
They do. You learn that in recovery rehab, when you point that one finger, they always tell you, look at your hand. You got three fingers pointed back at yourself. Everybody look for, like you say, somebody else to blame their addiction for. But in the program, when I first got to Hampton, I learned one thing. It's an I program.
Mm,
I'm here for William Battle. It's I. It's all about I. I met some lovely people. I met some people. My problem, my addiction, is my addiction. I can't work on my addiction the same way you work on your
that's
addiction.
right. That's right.
So I
And let
should
me
say,
ask you this. If there
uh,
was a message you want to give to the brothers and sisters that are out here still struggling with addiction, what would your message be to them? Um, they're trying. They're trying. They just can't get it right, Shug. They some have families and they family support them. You have the ones that have no family. You have the ones who are homeless and they're hanging with the same people in the same situations with them. They feel like they're trapped, nowhere to go. Um, Mine isn't strong at all. What would you say to them?
first of all, I've been there. I listened to you what you just said because I worked at some shelters, so I know a lot of them don't have family. They don't have that circle of love. So the best thing to do is go to your local hospital and ask to speak to somebody in mental health.
Mm,
And when you get there in mental health,
mm,
you let them know I'm mentally empty.
mm,
I'm just living on drugs and alcohol. I don't have a sense of direction. I don't know which way to go. I need some help. And they do got a lot of programs in the world. And I know a few here in Rocky Mount, Raleigh, Durham, Virginia. I know quite a few in Virginia. And there are programs for people, but it's up to that individual for him to look in that mirror and say, I'm tired of looking at this man. I'm going to change. It's up to that.
that right there touched me when I tell you that brought tears to my eyes because I um I know some just like that. I know some that has died trying to
Yeah.
um improve their addiction. I know some that are so lost. And no matter, I have a clinical background.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked with substance abuse as well. But let me tell you, the way you just gave it to me,
Mm-hmm.
the experience. That's why you have peer recovery specialists.
That's right. That's right.
Those peer support specialists and peer recovery specialists, they are needed in every organization. You know why?
That's right.
Because I can be a clinician and I can give you all the advice from evidence based, from books. But
Right.
that one person who has experience and know firsthand, they're going to receive it better from them.
Right. That's right. That's the whole truth. That's the whole
Oh,
truth.
I know.
And since you said that, that's what I was beefing with. I was my therapist. I was beefing with her. I said, everything you trying to teach me is in the. I said, what I want you to do one night is come go hang out with me in Hampton, Virginia. Let me speak. I ain't gonna let you hurt. I ain't gonna let nobody hurt you. But I need you to witness this and see this. I know she couldn't do that, but I just, was going through the motion with her. It's a whole different world when you when you're out there like that. It's totally it's crazy. It's really insane.
You know, when people
Insane.
say walk a mile in my shoes, addiction is so real, Suge, that I don't think even the toughest person, because when
Mm.
you're addicted, when it does things to your mind, it makes you feel like you're on top of the world. You
Right.
have no fear.
None.
That's
No
why
fear.
most people that have addictions, while they're in that moment, they do the unimaginable.
Right. That's
They
right.
do.
That's right. Every day you turn your TV on, when you hear something violent or some crazy shooting or
Yeah.
somebody, it's because of somebody addicted. It's created all the turmoil that you hear about these drive-by shootings and car
Yeah.
got shot. It's all behind some individual addiction.
Yeah. And you
Drugs.
know, and that's true because you got again, you got sex addiction, gambling. People gamble a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
Gambling
woo.
addiction is worse than alcohol and drug addiction. Well, I wouldn't even say worse. Let me take that back. An addiction is an addiction. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
But I want people to stop putting them in categories.
That's right.
People, like I
That's
said, people are quick to look at people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol because it changes your physical appearance. But
that's
you
right.
all that have these gambling addictions, the sexual addictions, pornography addictions, all of them, they are bad too. Again, sugar's one thing you said, and let me tell you, I'm going to tell people this when they ask me, how do I get better? I like what you just said. When you said, tell them to go and ask for someone in mental health and tell them that, hey, I'm living off drugs, alcohol. I'm living off my gambling. I'm living off this addiction and I need help.
That's right. That's right. I
You're pretty much at that point, you surrendering at that point. You saying, look, I'm empty. That's all I'm living off of.
got no more.
I have no more, even for myself. If you don't help me, I'm going to die.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and see, and so I like what you said, that addiction starts here.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's
It's
right.
all here. But let's talk about I know we have about 6.5 more minutes. I want to talk about your play.
Okay.
Um, you all, there was a play that was done. It was directed by who was directed by?
Miss Wanda D.
Okay. And it was in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I know it was at the Dunn Center at Wesleyan College.
Correct.
It was a sold out play. And guess who the play was directed? Guess who it was about? It was about you, right?
That's right.
What brought up this play? What was it about your life, Suge, that someone wanted to do a play about you? Where so many people came and packed that show out because it was so relatable to things that are going on in today's society.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Ooh, I was at Westland College doing a Christmas program. So I met two women that was sitting at a table, And I began to talk and talk, and I was, we was talking, naming people, and this other young lady came and sat down at the table, and so she began to listen, and she said, "Sure been through a lot in your life. How in the world you make it, and you be still clean in your mind?" And we talked and talked. So on the end, she said, "My name is Wanda D. I'm a playwright. I write stories and I do this and that." So we exchanged phone numbers.
Okay.
I didn't have no idea that from December to February, I would get a phone call from Miss Wanda D. And she asked could she have a meeting with me, and I needed two more people with me. So I'm like, she haven't told me nothing. I don't know nothing about the play or nothing. When she get to my house, she had them put it on black and white.
Wow.
I was like, how did you remember everything we talked about? And she said, that's what I do. So next thing I know, we was off and running. And she said, "You got a name?" I said, so we came up with It's All Ours. Life story of William Suggs Battle life story. And we put it out. And me being Sug, a lot of people seen me change and seen my life. So we decided to do a play. And like Debbie said, it was sold out. It was the Dunn Center at North Carolina Western College had never been sold out in over 20 some years. We sold it out and it was so thrilling. We had to come right back the next month in October and do the play again.
Wow. And it's
Yeah,
called Against All Odds. What with the addiction and her knowing your life story? That was a perfect play title because when you are using drugs, alcohol, illegal substances, gambling, whatever your addiction is, in that time, in that moment, you feel like you against all odds, like everything is against you, right? Because again, you playing the victim, right?
right.
Hunting. You're psyching your mind out to say that hey, I'm not addicted. I'm just doing this to escape this. But actually, you are the reason why,
That's right.
right? So the against all odds, what was the purpose of her coming up with that title?
Yeah, just like you just said, we shared, we began to talk, and she began to ask people. She was telling people, her friends, about the play. Well, I mean that she was going to try to do this play, and she called me back like about every week. Lord, Mr. Valor, everybody I talk to know you. Lord, I know you know people in Spring Hope. You know people in Nashville. You know people in Wilson. I said I do, and it just got out and got out. And she said, I was just gonna do autobiography of William Battle. She said, no, that don't sound right. And she called me the next day, and she had somehow came up with against all odds.
Against all odds.
And
If people want to see this play now, do you all have it on like for people to look at it or purchase it?
we don't. What happened was during the play, it was a lady had failed, and
Okay.
the guy who was recording it, equipment got knocked down.
Okay.
Happened was when he went back, he just picked his equipment up, making sure it was all right. But he wasn't thinking of whatever. One of the speakers fell off,
Okay.
so he kept recording. So what happened was when I did get me a few copies.
Mm-hmm.
Part part one had no sound.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Part two played like my granddaughter told me. She said, "Papa, you ain't tell me y'all were making a Tyler Perry movie. That's how good." Yeah. So I lost out. I lost out on that.
It's okay. It's because God isn't finished with you yet.
I
He-
know. And
he-
check this out. Everybody that didn't see it had somebody there that knows somebody and somebody, and I still get uh, people asking me about that play. When are we gonna do it again? When are we gonna
I
do it
think
again?
she need to do it again. I really do because your message, I mean, to be 28 years clean with, I got it written down, alcohol, and 23 years clean, your choice of drug was crack cocaine, right? And you did some, opiates sometimes. Did you ever do try marijuana?
Oh yeah, yeah. That I don't. Yeah, yeah. I did. I
You
did.
tried. Okay. All right. So I know I'm over. We're 1 hour in, but I want to end with this. I want people that are just tuning in now. I want you to give a message from two ways. The first message is going to be to the families out here that are dealing with someone who has an addiction problem. How would you tell them to respond or help that addicted family member? What would you tell them to do?
First of all, you can't talk to us in a crowd. You need to get that individual as far away from everybody you can and sit down and talk to him or her and let them know that we all in your corner. We all had a discussion yesterday and we're gonna see can we go and get you some help. But you can't go to them with the hardness. I'm tired. We tired of you. We tired of you eating up all the children food. We tired of you laying around here. It won't work. You can't go to them with that. You got to pull them off by yourself and make sure that they are not just listening to you.
Okay.
Got to make sure that they hear you.
Okay. Okay. Now, from the other point, I want you to talk to the people out here who are struggling, even the ones that think they are functioning addicts. Tell them how you broke free from it, the struggle, how you got through it, what the struggle was for you, and how you have been clean for 28 years.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about that, it goes back to people, places, and things.
Woo!
We are so acclimated to people that we hate to lose them. We figure if we don't see them tomorrow, I'm gonna die. Lord, if I don't see her tomorrow and him tomorrow, I'm gonna die. You have to go to God again and ask for guidance to lead me and give me strength to be away from the people that I love. Right now, I'm just hurting myself and the families are hurting. You must, you must go and seek some mental health. You have to accept to yourself, I got a mental problem. I don't just
Mm,
have an addiction problem. I got a mental problem. I got a mental problem.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
Listen to
yeah.
this. Somebody have a question. I mean, someone said something. What does this mean? His name is Quamel. He says sometimes addiction is an entire lifestyle. What does that mean?
That mean it is. I mean it consumes your life. It
Mm.
cons- your whole life is consumed 24 hours a day with getting high. You're consumed. Tell them I said right on. You. That's your life. You're consumed.
And then the
Oh,
rest of your lifestyle, you're trying to figure it out and not do it, right? So that's when you say you consume, you get high, but then you trying to recover. You're still trying to make sure you're not putting yourself in those people, places, and things that would cause you to relapse. So it's always a vicious cycle where you're
such
trying to stay out of it. Okay. Okay.
word. That's the word they use in the recovery. If you ever go to an NA Narcotics Anonymous meeting or AA Alcoholic Anonymous meeting, you would hear that word vicious cycle.
Yep. And I even know about I know about NAMI when I was working at um um what's the place in Hampton? I can't remember, but it was a NAMI group that would come there when I was working there. It was called NAMI, National. I think it was National Alliance Against Mental Illness. So
Mm.
they will have people with mental illnesses and also who had addiction problems to come talk to people. So NAMI, NAAA, what is it called? The person that you stay in contact with after you leave the group. What are they called? Your what? Big brother?
Your sponsors,
Your
right?
sponsor. Yep.
Sponsors.
People. Yes, yes. So that's the person you referred to when you said when you get those cravings or urge, you pick up the phone and you call that sponsor, right?
Sponsor.
Okay. Okay. Hey, this was even great feedback from me. I'm just so thankful for you to come on the podcast, Shug. You are truly an inspiration. It's people out here that are struggling, continue to struggle. You know the struggle.
That's
You
right.
know what you went through. You know what your family went through with you. Like I said, you come from a very tight-knit background with your family. Spiritual and everything. And even sometimes that's not enough when you're in that addiction.
That's right.
It's not enough because you say things over and over. And I like how you keep referring to this. The first part is not the drug, it's the mental.
Mental.
If you don't get that right, it will continue to be a cycle.
Right. That's
And if
right.
you don't do the first step, which is to admit,
That's
if
right.
you don't do the first step, you can't even go to 2, 3, 4, 5 in all 12 steps. You got to admit first.
You'll be stuck on step one.
That's it.
You'll be stuck.
It's
That's what
stuck. A
we.
lot of people are stuck, and I hear people all the time, Suge, saying, "Oh, I'm good. I still work.
That's
I
right.
still
Yeah.
make my money." But guess what? You're not functioning.
They
You're
they
really not functioning.
that's the conning part again because what they do, I listen to it every day. I hear somebody talking about, yeah, I'm a functioning alcoholic. I say to myself, I pray every day I know you behind the wheels because functioning
Woo!
alcoholics had car wrecks too. And being I've been a drunk. I've had a couple of accidents. Thank God nobody was seriously injured. But being drunk and driving and conning yourself that I got this, I can make it home. You have jeopardized everybody around you life.
Yes, they will. They don't think about that, Suge. They don't think about the second and third effects of it. Kwamel said, "Your work happiness and well-being depends on this addiction." Do you agree with that?
You know what?
He said, "Your work happiness and well-being depends on this addiction."
I'm trying to see how I want to digest it.
Your work happiness and your well-being depends on this addiction.
Yeah, but when you caught up in the grips, that goes back to what you saying as far as a functioning addict or alcoholic. You have some people that is so their body and mind is so acclimated to doing this that this is what they do. They get up in the morning, might take a hit or take a drink and go to work, but still that goes to the cunning and baffling. You fooling yourself.
Yep.
I got this. I got this. You have begun to fool yourself. Cause whatever you feed your brain, that's what your brain gonna believe.
Come on now.
You feed your brain, yeah, I'm functioning. I'm functioning. I drive to work. I go to work every damn day. I go to work. I
Yep.
make 12 hours a day, and it's the bottom line. You back at point zero.
Yep.
At point zero.
Man,
You
nobody else could have done this podcast like you. Because for one, you shared personal effects. You talked about how it affected your family. You talked about up close and personal about how it affected your kids. You talked about how people, place, and things are the ones You talked about how when you was in recovery, you was psyching yourself out so much that your family came to visit you, and you heard somebody call your name. Instead of running towards the truck, you running away from the truck. They thinking you in recovery, trying to surprise you. Like this is these are tools and nuggets that's free for everybody that's listening to this podcast, and to the people who will come back and listen. Y'all have
It's
to like just digest everything Suge said to you all today. It's not easy to be 28 years clean. 20, and that's not easy. And even every day is still a struggle because your mind still is wired sometimes to say, look, those negative thoughts, those irrational thoughts to say, hey, look, do this or do that, because Suge is tested every day when people come to him and ask for feedback or advice. And it might be those same people that are still doing the same things that he isn't doing anymore. Some of them might try to make him do stuff. He has to be strong to say no. But his mind, body, and spirit, his faith, he talked about his faith immensely. His faith has kept him there. And so I want to say to you all, he have dropped so many tools and nuggets to you all. If you know you need help, you got to admit first. If you know you need help,
right.
get mental health assistance first. He told you all what to do. Go to them and say, look, I am empty. I'm only living off of my addiction. I don't care if it's gambling addiction, sex addiction, or what. It's all an addiction. Get some help, y'all. Get some help. You have your Narcotics Anonymous, your Alcohol Anonymous groups. Get some help. It's out here for you. Okay?
And to share with them in every city of Rocky Mount, pick up your phone, Google. There's a AA meeting going on. There's a NA meeting going on. Go to some meetings and just sit and listen
Okay.
and listen.
So for the NA and AA meetings, you can just walk into those groups. You don't.
Walk in. It's walk.
Okay. All right, y'all. You can just walk in. You can just walk in and just get the feel of things, because sometimes when you're around people that's an aggregate group who share those same commonalities, it kind of help you open up a little bit. They can relate to you.
The first day going, you just listening and you will hear somebody share the same story you got.
It's powerful.
Your life addiction is just like theirs, but when they share their story, you'll be like, know what I did ain't nothing. So you're learning. You have to listen.
Quita said they also have meetings, those meetings virtually as well for those who can't make it. So if you can't make it, just Google NAAA meetings and attend them virtually as well. There
That's
are
right.
resources out here. The one good thing about COVID is that it taught places that you can operate virtually as well. So they do have virtual meetings. Thank you for adding that piece in there, Quita. Suge, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much. And I know last week we had technical difficulties, but you went out and you got you a new phone, and you've been working hard with my husband today to get this thing going, and your niece and your nephew. And I appreciate you. That shows. I mean, you even left your house and went to your sister house, their house. You went there. So
Listen,
that shows that when you want to give back, you do whatever you got to do. So I appreciate you giving back to the community. That's what you did tonight. I appreciate it.
look, Dale sitting right here beside me, not talking about you ain't get her no prop.
Let me look. Slide the camera. Let me, get.
Hold the phone. Come going to be.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, Debbie.
hey.
Now, look. Hey, Deb, you're not my favorite niece. Hey, Debbie.
I know you said I am right.
Don't let out. Where Chris at?
Don't worry about it. Don't tell everybody she's not up here. Yeah, I am your favorite. I got you. She won't hear it.
Love you. Love
Love
you.
you too.
All right.
All right.
So y'all through with you.
Crystal just said, Aunt Dale, she is up here.
Woo! Woo!
You
Oh,
did it. You should have stayed off the camera. You
I
did it.
know. But
She
you,
laughing.
Crystal, I love you, babe.
Thank you, Aunt Dale, for allowing Uncle Suge to come over there because I know his internet has started acting up a little bit at home. So thank you so much.
All right.
All
He
right, love
gone.
you.
All right. Y'all ready to shut off?
No, no, I want to have. I'm gonna go back to him, and we're gonna shut off in like 30 seconds. Okay, all right. So you all, I'm gonna end with this.
For sure.
Um, at the end of the day, it boils down to you. You see right here, Suge has his sister who has been instrumental in his life as well. She has been with him during this process. They are a very close knit family. You know, family stays together, pray together. You have agreements, disagreements, but at the end of the day, you love each other. And that's what their family is about. And I know for sure that whenever he was going through treatment at the Hampton VA Medical Center, they took their drive up there to support him. And because of that, when he tell his story, he remembered this. So for you all out here, tap into people who you consider your family, whether it's blood or people that's not your blood, because those are the ones at the end of the day that will be there for you. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Again, we talked about breaking free from addiction with Suge. I know you are going to come back and watch this again, and I'm going to bring Suge on again. Hopefully, he get his play going again. Once he does, we'll come back on and let you all know if they do another play. Suge, thank you again for coming up here and telling your story. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, baby. You learn this in recovery. What you learn, you can't take it with you, so you gotta share it. You gotta leave it. You gotta leave it here.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna tell y'all this right quick, and I'm gonna let y'all go.
Okay.
A couple of years when I first came home, I was going to the schools to speak. So I went to my alma mater. I went to Parker School and spoke to a bunch of seventh graders.
Mm,
So years and years went by. I was in a grocery store one day, and a young little lady walked up to me and she said, "Hey, Mr. Battle." And I was like, "How you know me?" And she introduced herself and told me she was a junior at Winston-Salem State University.
wow.
And she told me, she said, when I was in the seventh grade, you came to my school at J.W. Parker and talked to my class about drugs and alcohol.
Wow.
I knew that was one person in that
That's
group
right.
that listened.
That's right.
Listen. So we have to listen. We as addicts, I'm gonna say this because then we gotta go. We gotta go. We as addicts, we hate to listen,
Ooh.
brothers of the world who's getting high, the ones that are getting high for the first time. You can say no, but we have to listen. We have to listen to somebody. Somebody out here got something to tell us to help us. I
Yeah.
love y'all. I love you. May God bless
Love
you.
you too. God bless you too. And thank you. You all tune in next Thursday. I will drop my topic within the next day or two. So tune in on Thursdays, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, tonight, Suge shared his deep moments with you. I know you all text that you're going to watch the replay. It will be posted on my YouTube page, which is also on the page as well. I want you to like and subscribe and follow me at Talk Your Talk. You have a good night, Suge. Thank you
I
so
love you.
much.
Love
Love
you. I
you.
Tell your husband every day. I say thank you.
I sure will. He's so
Right.
patient. Thank
I,
you.
I
All right. Bye bye.